Hey guys, it's Jocelyn. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm doing Mother's Day DIY crafts that you can do at home during this quarantine because I know we can't be going out. And for the young people who can't afford to buy things, these are some perfect crafts you could do at home. So for project 1, we are going to be making a bracelet using Morse code. Now, if you have beads at home, I have a whole box of beads and I have string. So if you guys have that too, this is super simple. You literally just Google the alphabet in Morse code and you can write whatever you want as long as it's not too long. See, I had I love you there first, but then I figured it was too long, so I ended up doing mother instead. And basically you're going to take the string, measure your wrist, and whatever you have written out, it's alternating between dashes and dots. So you use different colors to distinguish between the dashes and the dots. And then you're just going to bead the beads on the string backwards. So starting from the last code, letter, code, whatever you want to call it. After you've beaded all the beads through, you want to make sure that they're in the center, that the whole line of beads is in the center. And then you're going to make a knot on each side of the bracelet, right next to the beads so they don't shift around. So that it looks more like a code than just a random regular bracelet. You want the beads to be in the center. Now for the knot, I know it's a little difficult to see here, but basically you're just going to do right over left, knot, then do left over right, knot, then do the same thing all over again with the whole left over right, right over left. But in the last knot, you're going to loop it twice. So you take the end of the string and instead of looping it once to make an ordinary knot, you loop it twice. And then you have to pull all 4 pieces of the string and make sure it's tight and it won't undo. And especially with this elastic cord, it can be kind of difficult and slippery, so make sure it's tightened. And then you just cut off the ends and you have your little Morse code bracelet. Moving on to project number 2. Every time I go to Home Depot, I snatch a bunch of these paint chips, and this is what we're going to be using in this project. If you don't have these, you can certainly use construction paper, magazine clippings, whatever solid colors you have, because we're going to be cutting them and making pictures according to the colors. I wanted to make a banana at first because that's my mom's favorite fruit, but I didn't have enough yellow, but I had a lot of green, so I went with why not, let's do a pear, because that's the only thing I could think of besides a kiwi. And I wasn't about to make a kiwi because that's a little harder than a pear. Alright, so all you're going to do after you've envisioned what you want to make, you're just going to take a piece of paper, any size, doesn't matter, and lightly sketch out what you're going to be doing. And then you're just going to take those paint chips, construction paper, whatever it is, and cut it into triangles. Now I want like a gradient effect going on here. So luckily that these paint chips are like the perfect thing because as you can see, they're already like a gradient. So all I had to do was cut out a bunch of different green triangles. And then once you've cut out everything that you need, all the colors that you want, you're going to start gluing and leaving spaces between the triangles. This can be a little tedious, not gonna lie. It took me longer than I thought it would, but I also did cut my triangles, well, most of them, kind of small. So if you cut triangles larger, you're obviously going to finish faster. Then lastly, I just cut 2 little pieces of brown, made a stem, and decided to write a little corny / cute, mainly corny, little phrase, and I just wrote, "You are perfect." And there you have it, a cute little picture for your mom. You can make this into a card, or you can put it in a frame, or you can do this on a canvas. And lastly, for our project number 3, you're going to need an old frame. You could use one lying around. I happen to have one from Dollar Tree here. And you're going to need puzzle pieces, 3 puzzle pieces that fit together preferably. Or you can even use an old puzzle that you're going to throw out and just paint the puzzle pieces instead of doing what I'm doing, which is tracing them, so that I can then cut the paper and have my own little puzzle pieces. Okay, and then this step you can totally skip, but my edges were kind of jaggedy, so I decided to go over them with this paint pen that I have. Then you're going to take the middle piece and you're just going to write mom. And once you've done that, you can just put the puzzle pieces aside and move on to the next step. So the next step has to do with the frame. You want to open that bad boy up, take everything out of it. Since this is brand new, it still had everything in it. And that cardboard, I'm keeping that to use it later in this same project. So you're going to want a piece of paper, and you're going to want to trace the backing of this frame on that paper and then cut it. You can use a blank paper like I'm doing, or one that already has a design. Since mine is blank, I wanted to make my own design, and I have this gold leaf foil that I got on Amazon, like $6 or $7, super cheap, but it is delicate and kind of annoying to use sometimes. Like, it gets stuck all over your fingers. I should have been using a brush or something to lay it down, but I don't think sometimes. But yeah, so basically I'm just making my own little pattern here, putting down chunks of glue and laying the foil on top, and then I let it dry, and then it looks like a mess right now, but once it's dry, you kind of brush away the remainder of the foil that's sticking up. Now back to this cardboard that I said I was going to use, right? So we're going to cut it up, and we're going to measure it against the edges and cut the excess that's sticking up. And we're doing this because I'm trying to create somewhat of a shadow box. So I need that height so that the backing, when I place the backing back on the frame, it doesn't sink the way it normally would. And I'm using this E6000 glue to glue all that cardboard to the frame. It is a bit messy. I prefer to use hot glue gun, but I was pretty sure that we didn't have any more, so I didn't even bother checking. All right, and then you're going to want to take that paper, that backing paper that you designed, and you're going to want the puzzle pieces to like pop off from the page a bit. So I'm just using, again, extra cardboard that I had, gluing it to the back of the puzzle pieces, and then gluing that onto our background paper. Then I cut 2 little strips, and I'm going to write a saying that's also going to go on this paper. So on the first one, I'm writing, "You are the piece." And on the second one, it's going to say, "That holds us together." Get it? Puzzle pieces holds together. See the correlation there? It doesn't even have to be designed like this. It doesn't have to be puzzle pieces per se. You can do whatever you want and still make it like a shadow box type of thing. And then I'm taking more of that E6000 glue, putting it on the backing, and then gluing that paper onto the backing. And finally, I have these clear beads, and I'm putting them inside the frame. You can use sequins, confetti, whatever other things you have that are small, that resemble like beads and confetti. And then I put more E6000 glue and glue that bad boy down. And make sure to put something heavy on it because the edges are going to be popping up, and E6000 takes a little while to dry. And there you go, you have a cute little frame for your mom. You have your little pear and your Morse code bracelet. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and please subscribe and like, and I'll see you next time.